Hello, welcome back to Passionate Pursuits. I know it's been a while, and I am super excited to have my first guest back for you guys. I'm thrilled who this guest is. I'm thrilled about her story and the energy that she brings. So, this is Holly Oldham. She is an entrepreneur, a published author, and an empowering speaker. And for her, she has this divinely inspired message of pause, reflect, move forward. It's not just a business, it's a way of life. And Holly, I would love just to run in and get started with telling us more about where this motto came from and what it means for you.
What an introduction. Thank you so much. I have goosebumps. First off, happy
Happy
Pride Month.
Pride! Yes, thank you for bringing the rainbow.
Oh, right. The pot of gold is is really at our fingertips. And through this poem, pause, reflect, move forward, because I am a poet first, uh, prior to prior to becoming a mother, I became a poet. And then I became a mother and forgot my poetry.
Mhm.
You see? And so, as I navigated my way through life, right, having one marriage with and one child with one human, and then moving on, but backwards to my high school prom date and marrying him and having three more children, right? And now I'm a grandmother, right? I'm an empty nester. And I'm really living my best life. So, for any of you out there that are thinking, oh my gosh, there's no life past divorce, and oh my gosh, there really is. Really, I'm living flipping proof, right? So, uh, Bridget mentioned pause, reflect, move forward. And those four words changed my life in March of 2016. I was actually baptized the August prior in 2015. I really wanted to cleanse my soul and just all of the things, right? And learn my role, right? So I talk and rhyme most of the time. And and uh I finally moved forward, right? So to go past all of the icky stuff, right? Because there was icky stuff. However, I mean, with a mother of four, of course, there's icky stuff like poopy and vomit and all the things and periods with all my girls. And so, like with all the different hormones of the testosterone and all of the estrogen, right? And somehow you're supposed to like coexist with one another, and it's a challenge sometimes, right? So this divine download came to me in March of 2016, and I started writing it everywhere. Started hashtagging it on social media, and people would ask me, and I'm like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what pause or reflect before it is. It's just something that's making, helping me move forward from whatever it is that I was trying to move forward at the time, right? And what I found is that we all are in three different phases of our lives, right? So, Bridget, for example, if you were to say you were in pause, reflect, or move forward phase, which phase do you describe yourself as now?
Right now, it's the move forward phase.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And here's the thing. Once you pause and reflect and move forward, you end up having to pause, reflect, and move forward. And where you're going to next is this constant circle of life. And so, whatever it is out there that's making you move forward or helping you move forward, how slowly you may be going, right? Because no progress is progress, no matter how fast you go, right? And uh, I encourage you to keep going. Like, really enjoy seeing the forest through the trees. Sorry, the trees through the forest. Holy shit, I can't remember which one. Right, I was trying to be all like poetic and stuff, right? That's what happens when you quote somebody else. It's not necessarily yours. However, I've never messed up pause, reflect, move forward. And it's changed my life. It's been a blessing, and also not to say a curse, but you see, when you start moving forward from when people know you from who you are now
Yeah.
or then and to who you are now, sometimes those relationships separate. And it's not always a bad thing. It's not always a good thing either, right? But it's important that we keep moving forward. So, one of the things that I do now for pause, reflect, move forward is I write articles. I still continue to share the hashtag at beach cleaning. every day when I'm at the beach. It's changed my life. I've done that now. It'll be 4 years in September. Every day I've been cleaning a shoreline, whether it's been, I'm in Hobe Sound, Florida, right? So whether it's been in Florida, and I just got back from Alaska and Vancouver, I was cleaning there, the shorelines. And unfortunately, Bridget, there is garbage everywhere. And if we really don't come together and start bending down, because as I've learned in the cleaning industry, because I own a luxury cleaning service now at this point, if we don't keep bending now, I'm in my late 40s, it's going to be even more challenging as you age, right? So I go to the beach, and every time I bend down to pick some garbage up or some cigarette butt or some fishing line that somebody left behind, I'm saying I'm grateful for something. I wrote an article about that, and I'll certainly share the link with you so you can share with your followers. But I love what you're doing. I'm so glad that we connected
Yeah.
because we certainly aligned, right?
Yep. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'd love you to show your tattoo
Oh, yeah.
because you have pause, reflect, move forward, and mine, Selah, means pause. And so, of course, right in the same spot on opposite arms, which I think is so cool. Yeah. And on my other podcast that I have with my partner Beth, we recorded an episode called The Pause. And it
There's a
really
lot of
is, yeah, it's fascinating because I think, you see in your work and in your volunteering that life is cyclical. There's always some part of the cycle that you're going through. And the more that you can embrace the cycle, not just in your work and not just in your daily life, but in all areas, I think the more you flow through life. Like instead of fighting through it, you're flowing with the cycle. But I just love that we both have some part of that pause. And sometimes, like you said, I love this. Sometimes it's a blessing, and sometimes like it's a challenge. You're like, oh, pause, and then you're like, oh shoot, I've got to pause.
What do you mean I got to pause? What do you mean? I had a dear friend that unfortunately our lives kind of just went in different ways. I got divorced, she's married, right?
Yep.
And she told me one time, and my ego was a bit hurt at this time.
Yep.
However, she told me, you're teaching everybody to pause, but you're not pausing yourself. And I was like, she thinks she is, but you need people in your life like that to call you on your own BS,
Yeah.
because sometimes you don't see it. And so I started my luxury cleaning service. I'd had a traditional cleaning service in the past. I had 309 clients in 3 different counties. It was round the clock, paired with a general contracting service.
Wow.
Moved forward from that post divorce. I ended up starting a solo cleaning business. One, because I really wanted to get rid of this arm wiggle, right? I want that anymore. I was like, wait a second, my body's a bit different. And, I'd really like to shape up a bit, right? So I started doing the daily beach cleaning. I got my guns back, right? And I was hand washing people's floors, all
Wow.
right? And I got that idea from a luxury client that I'd handled in my previous business. And she told me, she said, because when I went to do the interview to look over her home to see if we'd be a good fit, before she even opened the door of her $3 million house, she said to me, "Are you going to hand wash my floors?"
Hmm.
And I was like, I'm in my maybe mid 30s at the time. And most of the people that I had working for me were my age now, right? So they were in their 40s, this women and mothers and husbands doing second jobs, things like that, right? I said, well, I know I'd be able to do it, but I'm not sure if anybody else would be able to do it. She says, well, if I'm paying you for a service, then you should do it. And I, again, with the ego, because that'll get you in trouble. Those are 3 letters that'll get you in trouble in
Yes,
that
it's
order, right? So I'm going, who does she think she is? Anyways, I ended up making my second business all wrapped around that. And there was the luxury service for 10,000 square foot homes that I was providing my clients.
yeah.
And I created the life that I have now. I just took my first vacation after working diligently, daily, nightly, round the clock since January of 2021.
Mm.
And I went to Alaska. I took myself on a cruise to Alaska, right? So there is life past the divorce. There is life past, you'll hear me speak about parental alienation sometimes, right? There's lots of things that happen in divorce that you don't necessarily anticipate. And, I'd asked a very wise woman that I was taking care of at the time, in the midst of my divorce. And I said, she kind of knew, right? She kind of knew that what my story was. And I asked her, I said, if you could give me one piece of advice, what would it be? Do you know what it was?
Can't wait to hear
Expect, expect the unexpected.
though.
Oh, like this woman, are you kidding me? You gave me something so simple yet so like challenging, right? But we have to, it's very important that, we be in the moment.
Hmm.
Right? We're in the moment. However, if we keep thinking about the past in our moment, guess what? We're going to continue to keep being brought back there, right?
Yep.
So it's important to dream forwards because the dreams of the past are sometimes not able to last.
Right.
Right. So, but you can rejuvenate yourself, right? Whether it's putting your feet in the sand or, having Nang Champa incense in the background or, little rocks that say pause, reflect, move forward, to something so dear. And, it's not a religion. It's just been a way of life. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. I have so many things that I want to talk about. So I listed them out because you pinged so many things. But first of all, one of the things that I absolutely adore about you is that your passionate pursuit is so unique to you. Like, I love that you have, like, for me, I'm going to back up a little bit. For me, a passionate pursuit is an area in which you uniquely can see the beauty and thrive. And you see the beauty and thrive in the janitorial industry. I
Thank
want people to hear that you can see the beauty and thrive wherever you see it. There is this, we live in this infinite world of possibility, and people are like, oh, well, these three areas, those are beautiful. All the other ones, no, no. So I want to know what drew you to this path, and how do you see yourself fitting in there?
What drew me to the path of cleaning?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So like I can still remember my mother's refrigerator. I was the youngest of four children and the only girl. And there was an 8-year difference between my youngest brother and I. 9 years, probably closer to 9. Uh, Anywho, uh, there wasn't YouTube, there wasn't Zoom, there wasn't Instagram or
Yep.
Facebook. And my friends were like the oldest of their family. So I was the youngest. I was always the youngest. And, so I had to entertain myself. So I cleaned my mother's refrigerator out. I'd rearrange my room. And, my mother gave me a Barbie house. And let me tell you, I'm still playing house but with other people's houses now, except for my own. Like, I was telling you, I got a new standing desk and, I love tinkering with my home because if there's something in your home, Bridget, that doesn't make you happy,
Mm.
you got to get rid of it because it's going to remind you of who you were at the time, right? So, for example, ready? So there was a yellow dress in my closet, the cutest little yellow dress I got from a thrift store, right? And I think I wore it twice, but one of the places that I wore it, I don't necessarily want to remember that experience,
Yep.
right? So it is currently sitting at the front door now. I mean, the experience happened, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago. And it was just sitting in my closet. I'd go through all my stuff and then it was there. So if you have something in your closet, ladies and or gentlemen, however you identify yourself, get rid of it if it no longer serves you. I don't care if you can still fit into it. It's important that you let go to grow, right? And so these are things that I pardon me, that I work with my clients. So I really do a hand holding type of service, right? I go in, I help you with whatever room that bothers you the most, let's say. However, I also do luxury commercial cleaning as well for areas 7 feet and above.
Yes,
The
I saw this. How specific is this? Okay, so I see this aerial cleaning and I'm like, what exactly is and then I read this testimonial and I'm thinking, so I'm picturing in my head, if I were a business owner, that's not somewhere that I would want to go to clean, but that is always greasy and grimy and dusty. And I challenge anyone to look up when you're in a restaurant and still want to eat your food.
That's right. That's right. And, with COVID just a few years ago, there's really so many different things that you can do to keep your environment eco-friendly clean
Yeah.
because it matters the products that you're bringing into your home too.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So, for example, I'm in Florida. There isn't one window open during the summer, especially now. What is it? Okay, so it's 88 degrees. So
Oh,
it says in my house. Outside, it's 90 something. All right. So what happens? You leave your windows closed. You bring in products like, I don't know, Fabuloso, and then you keep your windows closed. Well, guess what? Those products are toxic and you're inhaling them and you're wondering why you have sinus pressure.
yeah.
You're wondering why you have your child has, you know, she goes to sleep and she itches. Well, partly because of the laundry detergent you're using. Right. So if you're interested in any of that, I could certainly share all the information regarding those things and what I use because that's for a different time. However, there are things you can do to keep your home, your family, most importantly, yourself healthier as you navigate your way through this challenging course of pause, reflect, move forward, right?
I know. We made the major switch, I want to say probably pre-COVID. I was going through a health battle. I had just survived heart failure and was majorly turning over everything to find ways to keep us all healthy. And that was one major switch that we made. And I'd been making it like I had been eco conscious for a long time, but I was like, okay, if I've got to make my own cleaning stuff with orange peels and vinegar, then so be it. But that was a major switch that we made, and it has made a huge difference. But there's always, it's like, again, we're coming back to this cyclical thing that there's always more that we can do. The more you know, the more you grow, and the more you change, and the better you do. Um, but yeah, I love that you're coupling these things can go hand in hand. It can be luxury cleaning and it can also be eco-friendly. And that is not something that I think I have ever seen, at least up in our area. You're either eco-conscious or you're exceptionally clean. But it's like, oh, well, those things can't go together because, and yeah, no, that's just not true. And I
And
love that
here's
you're
the thing.
bringing truth
Thank
to
you.
that.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. And here's the thing. You don't have to have $1 million home to treat your home luxurious. All
Yeah.
right. So you may not be able to have me physically come, although I do travel. I have my passport and I do the ship, the train, the boat, all the things, or the planes, trains, and automobiles, right? um, you can get these products that tend to be less expensive because they are highly concentrated, right? And so it's actually, I love how the manufacturers do, do the highly concentrated because that's what we need to do with our lives. We need to be highly concentrated and highly vibrating, you
Mhm.
know, and when once you pass the phase of being sad, it's a higher vibration to be mad, right? So get mad, get clean in all the ways.
Yeah.
One of the things that I have chosen to not drink alcohol, I think it's very cleansing for me.
Mhm.
And also, it's going to help age better. Plus, I have
Yeah.
more money in my pocket because of it, right?
Yeah.
So there are lots of ways to kind of cut corners, if you will. You heard me mention the thrift store earlier. I
Yeah.
love getting a great deal because, I do some speaking engagements. With poetry, I've also done my fair share of stand-up comedy. You can
Mhm.
Google pause, reflect, move forward, and I I dip in my toe in the erotic poetry and the erotic comedy. So, however, most of sorry, not even most, all of the stories that I tell on stage are true. And I think people think that I'm not telling the truth because the reaction is almost like, did she just really say that? And yeah, I did, because as an artist, it's my job to make you think. All right. So until actually, not even until I become paid better for my artistry, I'm going to clean these houses, right? And I'm going to help you, and you're going to help me, and it's going to be a wonderful world. You'll see. You'll see.
You know, I just wrote down, I had this vision because you talk about getting clean, not just in the home. And I was like, ooh, the fact that you are transparent and honest in your art is also a way of getting clean. Because then you're just, what's flowing through you is just clean because it's just truth and it's honesty.
Yeah.
And
You see a lot of people on the internet, right? They're sharing this and sharing that. Well, when you go to my page, you better prepare yourself, because I'm talking about some things,
yep.
again, you could Google pause, reflect, move forward, whether you're looking on Instagram or Facebook or wherever. I promise you that you'll see me in the
We'll put
dictionary.
links in the show notes. There will be links for all of it in the show notes. We'll make it really
Yeah,
easy.
yeah. And
Yeah.
and and I again, I love how we connected, because we have so much in common. You have 4 children. I have 4 children. I'm an empty nester, though. My children have all graduated high school and are living their lives. And I wish them the best of luck. I mean, because, their lives it's a bit different now, would you say, when we were younger?
Yeah. Oh, a bit. Yeah. Like a whole different world.
I
Yeah.
mean, really. And it's, I'm a grandmother now. So my legacy, if I may, is that, first of all, we need to clean this place up. It's filthy. It's filthy, right? We cannot leave the world as it is. So I do my best to be the change in the world that I wish to see, right? I wish to see cleanliness. I wish to see healed humans.
Mm,
I wish to see money in my bank account, right? All of these things. I wish to see all these things. And it's okay to have uh, a relationship with your money. It's important to,
yes.
as a matter of fact, if you ever find yourself without your significant other, because we all know that having a man is not a financial plan, right? You have to pull yourself together and say, all right, what are my skills? What do I know how to do? Well, I know how to clean a house.
Yep.
And here's the thing, I'm going to say that I may not be the best cleaner. All right. I may not be the best cleaner, but I guarantee you, I've got the best energy that's coming into your home. Or when we're virtually talking about what room you should tackle first, because I see things that you don't see.
Yep.
For example, if you have a cleaning company coming into your home and your garbage can is inside your cabinet, right? There's a lot of the newer homes, they have garbage can that goes in,
Right.
right? So when you open that door to put your garbage in after the cleaning people have left your home, and there's debris in the underneath the garbage can, because remember, it's a bit elevated, right? There's 2 different things that are happening. One, they're not cleaning it. Or 2, you're not allowing them to do the job that you hired them to do. So really consider, when you're hiring a cleaning person, what it is you'd like to have done. Because a lot of times, if you'd like to have something a little extra done, I always do it most of the time. Like, can you please do my laundry? Yes, I will do your laundry. Why? Because nobody likes to do it. And here's the thing, I like it because it puts money in my pocket. So you see, what you don't like, I like, right? So clean up all the things, everyone.
Right. So you mentioned something, and I pulled a quote off your website that I want to talk about, because I'd love
Mm.
to have you talk about this mainly because you've gone through a lot in your life, and I'll let you tell as much as you want to tell about what you've been through. But I'm going to read the quote and then I'd like to talk about it because I love to have you specifically address it, since I feel as though maybe it's more approachable for people hearing it from you. So you said, continuing to blame others for your current situation takes away from your own responsibility of self. If something happened in your past, it is your responsibility to do what you can in your life to make it better, not just for yourself, but the next generation. Woo, that's hard. That's some hard words, right?
Well, look, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear.
Nope. And we don't talk about what people want to hear. We talk about growth and personal evolution here. So bring it.
Deep breath, center my core. Uh, Life's not necessarily been easy for me,
Mhm.
right? And I bet you, if you're listening on the other end, and I'm sure you can say this too, Bridget, it hadn't been easy for you either, right?
Yep.
And here's the thing, nobody told us it was easy. Nobody said life was easy, because if it was, I certainly did not read that book. So, for example, one of the things that I've attracted in my life, whether my mother healed that wound or my grandmother didn't heal that wound either, it was left to me.
Mhm.
So, whatever we don't repair, we pass to the next generation. So there was no way that I was going to have alcoholism be a part of my family's life. My father started that footstep, right, of alcoholism. He decided he wasn't going to drink anymore. And I used to pick on him because he would drink non-alcoholic beer. Now, guess what? I sit at the bar and I drink non-alcoholic beer too, which is an example to my children.
Yeah.
All right. So that's one thing, right? The alcohol abuse. Second thing is the sexual abuse. The sexual abuse started, I can't even tell you how young I was. It happened so long ago. I mean, younger than 7, and it kept happening, and it kept happening. And then the people I would date, they would abuse me in one way or another. And I didn't understand. Why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? Well, duh. The reason it keeps happening is because you're in something inside of you, no matter what it is. It's different for everybody, I believe, right? But for me, it was, I wasn't changing. I was doing everything the same.
Mhm.
Like, if you're continuing to do the same thing, expecting a different result, you're only creating insanity for yourself, right? So if you desire for nobody to take advantage of you anymore, you have to take ownership of everything that you've been through and say, you know what, this is my story. Here I am. And if you don't like it, just go somewhere else. Or better yet, let me remove myself from the table, because I can build a table like I built my desk yesterday. Not only did I build it, I bought it too.
Yeah.
Right. So as we empower the next generation, and we do our best to empower the people around us, because not everybody's going to see what you're doing is a good thing, right? Not everybody sees that Bridget and Holly are having this conversation. It's a good thing. There's going to be good things and there's going to be bad things that are said. But here's the thing. We have to keep having these conversations, because at some point or another, somebody else is going to listen and they're going to be like, you know, they might have something here. And these women are parents.
Mhm.
They've decided to walk a different path in life that isn't the easiest path to take, whether it's being a part of the LGBT community, being an entrepreneur, being a solopreneur, and standing in boardrooms where we're still judged for what it is we're wearing, if we have our makeup done or our hair done, or if our high heels are too high. For example, when I first started this cleaning company, the second cleaning company, I went to a networking event and I was wearing my first dress that I bought from a retail store, because I was going to thrift stores. I left with $100 in my wallet when I left my marriage. Okay. So I bought my first, it was a sheath dress. It was navy. It had some buttons down the center, sleeveless, right? Because I had got some guns. I was like, man, I look good, right? So I'm standing up there and in these heels, these YSL gold heels that someone had given to me. They matched the gold buttons and the blue navy dress, right? So of course I had to wear them with some navy and gold earrings. And this matters, trust me. Because after my presentation, which I had I didn't have the right cable cord from the Apple to connect to the screen, right? So I had to ad lib, right? Which I could do pretty good, right? I'm a seasoned speaker. I've spoke all across the country, Vegas, all the places with my artistry. So it's like I can do this, right? So when I'm done, I'm standing there all poised because, in my younger days, I was a model. So I had all of these, I was poised, my hair was done, my nails were done, all of the things. And the networking coordinator says to me, "Do you clean in those heels?" And I stood there. I paused. And I looked right at him. And I said, "You said you can't afford me now. What makes you think you could afford me in those heels?" And guess what? There was a woman in the audience or in the group that I'd never seen before. She approached me after the meeting. She says, "I have a house for you." The house was 10,000 square feet. She no longer lives there. However, 3.5 years later, I'm still taking care of her house. So it's important that when we show up confidently, even if we're not. We got to practice being confident. You're not just born. I mean, you're born confident, right? You come out and you're like, "Hey, here I am. These are my arms. These are my legs," right? My grandson, right? He's like, "I'm confident. I'm pooping in this diaper," right? I mean, this is uh, important that we be who we are. Yet, would you agree that we got to have thick skin?
Oh, I mean, I think, honestly, I think that courage does not come without fear. Like if you don't have fear, then you're not courageous. They don't exist apart from one another. So I think same goes for confidence.
And
If
here's the
there's
thing.
nothing that you're working through to be confident, then confidence doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's we must continue to show up, because sometimes just showing up is enough, you know. However, if you have that, you remember that movie, I believe it's called Secondhand Lions, where it says you just have to have like 3 seconds of courage.
Mm-hmm.
Just 3 seconds.
Yep.
Right, because I said that in 3 seconds, 5 seconds, maybe that
Right.
little blurb to that networking guy where I no longer network with his group. And that woman heard me.
Right.
That woman heard me. And it's important to not only be heard, but you have to be seen too. It's important to show up like you are on the podcast. It's important to show up on social media because someone is watching. And here's the thing, if you're only making your day better, that's okay. Like,
Yeah.
I've
Yep.
learned that it's okay to not be okay. Like, it doesn't, I'm not every day am I like this.
Me neither.
However, it's important to remember the days that you are like this. So you
Yeah.
could say, "Wow, she's a badass. Oh my gosh, did you remember what you did? You took yourself to Alaska when somebody told you that you couldn't go. You created a business when someone told you you couldn't do it without them." What? Hold on. Let me wave my pride flag just right now. Because it's hot in here, man. I got my air conditioning at 74 and it's still hot as heck. But I'm grateful, you see, for all of the things, no matter where I've been, and I've been in some really dark places.
Yeah.
Longer than I I really care to admit, like, I'm sure you and maybe a lot of other listeners, and it's all right. You know, if you find those people in life that are genuine, right? Whether you talk to them every day or follow them on social media, make sure you do,
Yeah.
because that encouragement, that little boost could help someone get out of the funk that they're in and help them pause, reflect, move forward.
Right. And you know what? Yes, we show up when we're like this, but I think that you and I also both show up when we feel like crap too.
Oh,
And that's the thing. Like I think I love that you also show up on social media when it's not so pretty and we're not feeling so good. And I do the same thing. I share when I am stuck in bed with a migraine and I'm having an awful day, I post about it because I want people to see who I am today and that person, we're the same person. And we have really, really hard days. And I don't want people just to see the good stuff. I want people to see where I'm fighting for my life on certain days. And still, the next day I get up and we're doing it again and we're still here. Because when I see someone who also shares that, then I know when I'm having that crappy day that I'm not the only one.
yeah, because
It's so
here's the
important.
thing, you're going to be judged for whatever you do, whether it's
Oh, that's fine. I don't care anymore.
exactly, whether it's but here's the thing, we need to not be caring sooner in life, right?
Yes. Yep.
Right. I mean, when I was in my 30s, I had purple hair. I, I, I felt magical then. I had blue hair. It was what I thought was the saddest time of my life. I had fire engine red because I was like, oh man, I feel sassy, right? And then it went to pink because my hairdresser said that she couldn't color my hair anymore because it would fall out, right? And then, I've worn my hair very short since I was younger because I learned as a young girl that boys won't bother me, or excuse me, let me just rephrase that. People won't abuse me
Mm,
if I look like a girl. Now, that was very big awareness at a very young age,
mm,
looking back,
yeah.
and how I had to kind of hide so I would blend in, because, when you have pants on, because I mean, it was the 70s, I would wear shorts and no shirt, right? I have pictures of no shirt on as a little girl with my brothers, right? With short hair. I blended in. And this is a big issue. It's a big issue. I see posts on social media where women are like talking about their hair and how much they spend. And, I have a different take on it. I have a different take on it that, you know, maybe it's because you're trying to blend in. I mean, everybody has their own things with how they show up in the world, and that's just mine. And when a woman wears short hair, like I do, it confuses people. I kind of like that. I don't want anybody to think they know who I am because I have people in the comments section that think they know who I am based upon who I was before when they have no idea who it is I am now. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you have the same thing, which is why unfriending, unfollowing, blocking, and all those things are wonderful features that Mark Zuckerberg gives, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting mine chopped in 2 weeks. I can't wait to share. It's all
Oh, I
coming.
can't wait to
So
see.
I know I'm so excited. I'm thrilled.
Well,
Very exciting.
you'll find it's, no, I've worn my hair very short like this since I'm about 17 years old because someone told me at the time if I cut my hair, because I had long blonde hair down to my hips because my mother colored my hair at the age of 10.
Wow.
He told me that if I ever cut it, that he would break up with me. Well, I broke up with him and then cut my hair. And then here's the thing though, because of my trauma, I married him shortly after.
Yeah.
So if you don't heal, you're going to repeat. Oh, It's ridiculous, really. However, it's the reality of it. If you don't heal, you're going to repeat the same thing you're hurt from. So after I leave you, I am taking myself, which I do often. I take myself out. I'm going to a comedy show
Mm,
because you don't have to go with someone. You can go by yourself. And as a woman, I'm told often, aren't you? You're not scared. Do you have something with you? Here's the thing. I have short hair, and I walk in like I was born to be there. You check your energy before you go in anywhere. And once you step through that door, if that energy shifts, then you shift back out the door.
mm,
Like, I don't care how much I paid for the ticket. If I'm not happy with something that someone says or something does, or, I'm going to leave. So as freely as maybe as challenging it was for you to go, feel free to walk back out that door because you don't have to stay. And that's with relationships, restaurants, all of those things, business, right?
love that. I love that. I love that. Can't wait to share that. That is wonderful. Bold
Amen,
ideas.
amen, amen.
All right, my last question for you,
Oh,
because we could stay here forever and have endless things to talk about, but I want to know what part of your life journey so far are you most grateful for?
hmm. I'm grateful for both of my ex-husbands. My my first husband is deceased, ex-husband is deceased. He died a few years ago. Uh, and my second ex-husband, because of them, I have these children to love. I and and with divorces and separation and things, especially when your children are a little bit older, and here's the thing, even when they're younger, they experience things. And it's important to give them that space to have the experience. And the relationships that I wish that I had with my children now, I know I'm going to have them in the future once they understand. And here's the thing, women, we're the only ones right now, right, that can give birth. And so I believe we're taught to let go way before men are. And then we spend the rest of our lives as mothers, some of us, trying to get them back in our vaginas.
Right? If
Like, could
only it
you
were
just
that
come in
easy.
here and I'll just hold you for a little longer? And it doesn't work that way. You have to allow them to be who they want to be. They're going to think whatever they want to think based upon what somebody else said, based upon what you said, based upon their thoughts. They're going to think whatever it is they want. So becoming a parent, having 4 C-sections,
Mhm.
um, being able to train my body to run marathons, to be in the best shape of my life at 48 and a half. I'll be 48 and a half on June 30th. It's my half birthday month. And that being a parent, I mean, I'm grateful for those men. Now, I'm not going to tell you it didn't take me a long time to say that. I didn't say that 3 years ago. I tried to. I even wrote him a thank you note.
Wow.
Thank you for giving me these children. Thank you for putting me through this divorce. Thank you for keeping the 401k. Thank you, because I'm better off without you. That's how I feel. And I believe that's how I'm living. And I believe that that's how people see me now. We wouldn't have had this conversation 4 years ago. I was in a dark place. Pause, reflect, move forward was very much stuck in pause. And once I reflected long enough, I moved forward. So here's the thing though with pause, reflect, move forward, and I know we're going to wrap this up. It's important not to stay and pause and reflect too long cycle because you become stagnant and you stink. Think about water that's been sitting, it becomes stagnant. Nobody wants to be around you. They got enough crap in their lives. So move forward as quickly as you can. However, but don't forget, you got to pause and reflect on where it is you're moving forward to next.
Love it. Thank you. Thank you for this delicious conversation. And I'm
Hungry.
so glad that you have been refilled and refueled from your much deserved vacation.
Hey, and I can't wait to see your hair. You better tag me in
Thank
that
you.
post because bald heads are everything. Like this is long for me now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been about 2 weeks since I've had a haircut, so I need a fresh fade. Go
Mm.
to a barber shop, by the way.
I have a lovely human who is cutting my hair. I'm supporting it's actually 2 hours away, but it is a dear friend who's been on my podcast. They have an LGBTQ plus affirming salon in a region that is not very affirming, and I want to go support them and spread the love. So I'm super excited. This is one of their most incredible haircuts that they do, especially with curly hair. So I can't wait to see how it turns out. I trust them. I'm in their hands.
Well, here's the thing. If you don't like it, right? Because that's what matters most. If you don't like it, wear a hat.
I
Wear a hat to let shit
have a
grow
feeling I'm
back,
going to be
right?
so excited to show it off.
I
So
mean, yeah, and you'll find that you walk a bit taller
Mm,
because it's weighing you down for you, not for every
yeah.
woman, right?
Yep.
Not for every human does it matter. However, for you, you're going to find that you're much lighter. I can already picture you without it, and it's going to look fabulous. By the way,
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. It's been lovely. I can't wait to get this out to everyone. We'll be in touch to make sure that everybody has all of the links and can get in touch with you and find out more about you. And for all of our listeners who are down in the Florida area, hopefully they can connect with you as well. So thank you for being here, Holly. I appreciate you.
all right, peace from Hope Sound, Florida.